Let me get to the next part of this game, which I think was like the story of the game. First, they matched the hype. We never see that. It's so rare to actually match the hype. The quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, one of the best performances I've ever seen. I walked through exactly what was so good and so clean about that. And then you've got to have stars. And boy, we got ourselves a new superstar in college football. Travis Hunter is, to steal Dion's term, him. Travis Hunter is him. I'm going to stutter a lot during this section because there is no precedent for what I saw on Saturday from Travis Hunter. There's very little for me to draw on to analyze. I've never seen anything like that before whatsoever. I've never seen a player walk onto the field and be the most elite player on the field on both sides of the ball. I've never seen that before. Maybe in high school. Maybe Vince Young should have played some safety or something when I played him, because maybe he would have been amazing too. But man, Travis Hunter was unbelievable. Let's just walk through a little bit of this. He was the most impactful defender for either team, and he made some of the biggest catches of anybody on the field. You know, they weren't like necessarily like I know Edwards. Everyone say like, well, Dylan Edwards had the touchdowns. No, I get that. I understand that. Dylan Edwards scored some of those touchdowns. One was a running play. Three were, I believe, receiving touchdowns. A couple of them, those like they're just designed, and based on the coverage, he's going to have a huge open route. Travis Hunter's catches were just wins one-on-one. Travis Hunter's defense was one-on-one against wide receivers. And he did it by playing 147 snaps of college football at the highest level against a ranked team on the road in 100-degree heat. Absurd. It's absolutely absurd what this guy did on Saturday. And quite frankly, I don't think it's a question at all right now. The best non-quarterback player in college football so far in 2023 is Travis Hunter. Sorry, don't at me. I don't know what to tell you about it. And I think a great picture of that was what happened in the third quarter. TCU started to get their run game going, okay? And you could sense the momentum. Like TCU was starting to figure it out, because I still think that that's a good football team. Now, yeah, they got some deficiencies, and they'll have to come back from those. But TCU is a good football team. One of their backs, Amani Bailey, had it going. If they would have given him the ball more in that a little bit, like they could have been even more dangerous. He popped a big run after Colorado pinned TCU inside the 5-yard line with a great punt. Amani Bailey has a big run, and it looks like he's going to the house. He's a fast player. He's going to the house. Guess who chases him down from the opposite side of the field? Him, Travis Hunter. Chases him down. Prevents a touchdown. Okay, good for him, but they're still rolling. They're still rolling. Now, same series. It's third down inside the 5, and this happens.
Third down, Morris. Intercepted. Wow! Travis Hunter. Unbelievable. Hunter just plucks it out of the air.
Are you kidding me right now? That was wide open from the booth. 100 times out of 100, I see that action from up here. That's a touchdown. They had the back wide open, Major Everhart, number 22, and out of nowhere, Hunter comes off of his route and dives for the interception. Holy cow. Primetime player playing for Coach Prime here today.
Man, that was ridiculous. He's not responsible for that route. This is what people don't understand. It's like, oh, he picked off a flat route. Whoop-de-doo. He's not responsible for that. He's in man coverage on the wide receiver running a slant. He sees the formation, he sees the action, comes off of his route and goes to a different man and picks the ball off. Full extension, rolls over so that he doesn't bobble it onto the ground. What? I don't think people realize what an amazing play that was. Again, that's not zone defense that he's like stepping in front of an out route. No. He's on man coverage against a different player, comes off the route and falls into the interception, dives, I should say, for the interception. Absurd. It's absurd. It's the best interception of the week. Absurd. In the moment, third down inside the 5. And I'm sure TCU fans, and if you're listening, listen, I feel for you because I'm sure you're sitting there yelling at the TV, run the ball, run the ball. And they should have. A little bit of the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl right there. Little Malcolm Butler right there. I get it. But they don't. They throw it. The guy falls off of his route. And that's what I meant by falls off. He falls off. He's covering a slant. He falls off of that route just because of the action, recognizes it and picks it off. Stupid. If that was the only thing he did, it would have been amazing. But it wasn't. Later in that quarter, what happens? Well, they've got 3rd and 16. Okay. In the fourth quarter, I should say. In the fourth quarter, they've got 3rd and 16. They punt right there. Colorado loses. And Shedeur goes to Travis Hunter. So the biggest play of the game in the fourth quarter, and now he's easy 120 snaps deep into 100-degree heat. He gets one-on-one in the slot. They throw him a fade. He comes down with it. I mean, like, come on. And in fact, for as good as everybody else played offensively for Colorado Horn played great. Edwards played great. Weaver played great. Harrison, the tight end, had a couple of good catches. The offensive line played way better than I thought that they would play. And who was getting the ball in the fourth quarter when they needed it the most, when they needed the yards the most, when they needed conversions the most? Who were they actually targeting? Travis Hunter. And he's 120, 130 snaps deep in 100-degree heat. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He was at his best at the end. Incredible. Now, last thing for Colorado. This can seem a lot like an arrival point, right? Like there's been so much hype, there's been so much talk, and all of a sudden Saturday happens and it can feel kind of like we did it. In fact, like even Coach Prime after the game, there was a hint of that. Here it is.
And I'm loving these kids. Rick George for giving me this opportunity, man. This is a blessing. Everybody, Buff Nation who supported us in all the hood that had my back. I thank y'all. God, this is good. Woo!
What can you tell me about your defense and the way they came up huge with that stop to get this win?
They surrendered some big plays throughout the game, and all we kept teaching was just we need one stop. But what about the offense? How did they respond? How did these guys respond? I don't know how many snaps he played, but we're going to put a hot tub on the plane for him to make sure he's straight.
Hey, we're excited because we are heading to visit your home next week, Folsom Field. What is your message to the fans of what we can expect from Colorado?
We told you we're coming. You thought we was joking. And guess what? We keep receipts. God bless you, America.
I mean, his interviews are amazing. I wanted to play the halftime interview. I didn't get it when he said like, "Oh, the Heisman's at his crib chilling." He's amazing, but you can see the emotion there of that win, and this can feel like an arrival point for Colorado. Well, guess what? Now you got a game of film out there, and other teams won't make the mistakes that TCU made. They're gonna have to fix some things. My phone, first of all, I haven't had this many text messages in a long time. And everyone thinking like, oh man, I can't wait to go beat Nebraska. Well, okay. Yeah, they got really good skill. Colorado's got really good skill. But it's going to be incredibly hard for Dion and his coaching staff to get his players to focus and work at the same level that they have previous to Saturday. Why? Human nature. Human nature sets in. And so they're going to have to try to fight complacency, which is inevitable in a lot of respects. Their biggest challenge is going to walk into the locker room, walk into team meetings, and walk out to the practice field and get the same level of intensity from those players. They just saw Nebraska not play great in a loss against Minnesota, even though they should have won that game. Right. So there's going to be this air of like, oh, man, we can win this game. Well, guess what? You better buckle it up, because the special teams for Colorado were terrible. They got a field goal block. They gave up a big kick return, a long kick return in that game. Their run defense was suspicious at best. I mean, suspicious. I'd suspect. Maybe I don't. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good in the second half. And it's not one of those things that I thought that the defense was going to be great. I thought that the defense was going to have trouble at times, in particular with being so light up front. But I will guarantee you this. After watching that film, Matt Rule and his staff will not make the same mistake that TCU made. And I do think TCU made a mistake. TCU threw that ball over 40 times, and that's the strength of the Colorado defense, is the pass defense. If TCU ran the ball over 40 times and threw it under 30 times, that would have played right into their hands. One, you can keep Colorado's offense off the field. And two, you're just going to wear them out. I don't know if Colorado can stop that. I don't know. So that's what you're going to get a heavy dose of in front of your home fans. That defense for Colorado is going to be tested. Now, having said that, I will tell you this. I watched both of those teams. Nebraska is going to have a really hard time stopping Colorado. If they play anywhere near to the same level offensively, in particular from quarterback and those wide receivers, Nebraska is going to have a hard time stopping them. So you may be right back in the middle of the same type of game that you were in against TCU, where it's the last team that has the ball that's going to have a chance to win. Let me tell you this. I love the fact that we're going to be there. Gus and I and Jeannie are going to be there. Big Noon Kickoff is going to be there. 10 a.m. local for those of you in Denver. Noon Eastern, obviously. Big Noon is coming, and I can't wait. Last thing I will say about Colorado, and this is going to be Deion's challenge this week. There's an old adage in coaching, and if you're a coach of any level, please write this down. You treat winners like losers and losers like winners. Because winners always need to go back to the grindstone, and they've got to get back to work, while losers need confidence. So you always treat winners like losers and losers like winners when you're a coach.
Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.